Talking franchises here, bud.
All right, welcome. Oh, what's that? A creaky door? A black cat? A piece of liquid dripping from the ceiling. Is it red? Is it blood? That's right, gang. It's October, right? Yeah, it is. October 3rd. And that means it's the spookiest fucking month of the year. So I'm going to be on pins and needles all month. Literally, I've been kidnapped by a serial killer that tortures you with pins and needles. No, that's not true. I made that part up. But it's still spooky. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg, and I'm super fucking pumped for the franchise we're doing. It's Final Destination. Maybe it is our final destination. Maybe you'll never hear us again. Maybe this is the last episode of the franchise. Pins and needles guys might get me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Logan. Oh, well, I guess that was my way of introducing you. Logan,
Hi.
be a dare, a scare.
Yeah, Logan be a scare. It's Halloween time. I'm excited. You already saw these, but going forward, I guess, are the ones that you haven't seen before. But
I gotta say, I remember absolutely nothing about the second one.
really?
Yeah, and I remembered less about the first one than I thought I did.
That seems crazy. The first one is just like a part of my DNA, I feel like, at this point. And the second one, I feel like the second one's kind of a movie I never understood that much.
I
guess
still
we'll
kind of
get
don't.
into it, but I'm very confused by the second movie.
The first movie, I think I saw in theaters, all right, but I don't know that I ever saw it again. So, like, it was the year 2000. I'm looking at March 17th, 2000 is when this came out. I was there, and then that was that for me, man. When the second one came out, I remember I didn't see it in theaters. I was annoyed at the trailers because I didn't like that Ali Larter had blonde hair. I thought that it was a betrayal of the character Clear that she portrayed in the first movie. But then what I didn't remember about that on this rewatch is that she has blonde hair at the end of the first one. Like they're saying, like,
Oh yeah.
she's been through something, like she's not such a weirdo anymore. She's got a relationship going with Sawa. Now her hair looks good.
Yeah. I
Right?
actually forgot. That was actually a real problem for you? That's why you didn't watch the second movie?
Well, I did watch it, but I remember being reluctant because they had changed the writer. I was a fan of the writers and the director from the X-Files because I was a nerd back then. I mean, I still am. But and then I didn't like her hair. So I was reluctant to see the second one. And then I didn't like it, so then I never saw any of the other ones.
All right. I get it, I guess.
Yeah. So Final D, that's what we're covering. And then Insidious for the month of Spook Month. And we also saw 10 this week. So stay tuned for a what do you call those?
Bonus?
Bonus episode.
And also Exorcist next week too.
Yeah, Exorcist Believer. I'm thinking we should shit can that, just do an episode about the Eras tour.
All right, that's fine. By the way,
Swift.
they were showing like AEW the other night at the movie theater.
Yeah, there was they had a pay-per-view, and participating movie places show the AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah, it was very cool.
You could have got to see Wrestle Dream, Logan. The main event was Christian Cage versus Darby Allin, and you know who made his triumphant AEW debut?
Edge.
That's right, Edge.
Mhm.
Decamping from WWE. All right, no one cares about that.
But I had a question actually.
Yeah.
Didn't he actually officially retire because he was like didn't want to hurt himself anymore?
He'd had to do that probably 15 years. I think it was 2011.
No, I remember that because he broke his neck. But now wasn't he like, all right, I'm done. I'm getting too old. Why is he coming back?
No.
WWE let him go?
No. He wanted to go to AEW. WWE was just sort of like, trying to cover their asses, so they acted like it was Edge's last match ever when it was just the last match on his WWE contract.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah. All right. L Dog, Final Destination. Let's fucking talk about it. I mean, how am I not more into these movies? It's teen horror from the early 2000s with some of the big names. You recognize everybody who has a single line in this first movie. All right. It takes place on Long Island in Nassau County, where I grew up. All right. You got Sean William Scott wearing a goddamn New York Rangers jersey the entire time. All right. I mean, this should be my favorite movie.
There's a hot MILF teacher.
It is a hot MILF. And she's the actress married to the writer of the movie.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought she was pretty good. I thought she was one of the standout actors.
Yeah. You know, the way I figured that out, I was watching this with my girlfriend. She recognized her from the Black Christmas remake. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the Black Christmas remake was written by the same dude that wrote this.
Wow, so your brains together figured that out. That's amazing. I never knew that. But there's like the one part where she's on the phone later, like right before she dies, and she's talking to a friend, and she's like, I know that I'm moving soon, but it's just so difficult. And it's like, I really liked her character. I feel like I got the most from her. She was like so torn up about the whole thing that she was trying to move away. And I thought she really sold that.
I agree. I think the most hardcore moment in the whole movie is when they're at the fucking funeral or like the memorial for the people that died in the plane crash. And Devon Sawa goes up to her to try to talk, and she's just like, you scare me.
Mm-hmm.
And she like walks away. It's fucked up, man. Hey, if you don't know the premise of this movie, Devon Sawa, you know him, Stan from the Stan video, right? Everyone knows that. So he's going to Paris with his class on a field trip. A very charmed school he goes to. Definitely not the one on Long Island that I was attending.
You never went to France?
No, never went to France on a school trip. We went to go see like Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk on Broadway once.
You never went to like DC or anything? Probably did that.
No, I did that myself.
Even our school did.
I graduated. That. Yeah. No, my school sucked.
You always make fun of me.
We went to
DC.
Six Flags. Go, that was one good field trip.
We do that. There's all the time. Like I think like the seniors always go to Six Flags or something.
Yeah, it has to do with science class or something. I wasn't able to go to Six Flags because I dropped science senior year.
Wow, holy cow!
Yeah. Anyway, so they're going to Paris on this field trip, and he has like a premonition. Although it plays out like you think it's real at first, but it's just a premonition. It's almost like that scene in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 where they all fight at the end.
That's what I always thought of, yeah. Exactly like
that. And so he's like, I gotta get off this fucking plane. He gets into a fight with the gay kid from Dawson's Creek. They get knocked off the plane. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he plays Jack from Dawson's Creek. And his girlfriend, Amanda Detmer, who I always picture in a pink bra at the end of Saving Silverman, she's there. And Ali Larder decides to get off, I guess, because she has a crush on Devon Sawa.
No, well, early on, he walked by and he knocked the paper out of her hand, and she picked it up, and it was like Princess Diana's death, and she was like, "Oh, that's weird." So then later on, when he does that, she's like, "Ooh, maybe this guy's onto something. Something's going on here." But also, I think she did like him.
Yeah,
but she, I think she talked about how he was like the omen of death or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, but she's like kind of a spooky girl, so that like turns her.
She's like a loner all by herself.
Yeah, it's wild. Like I think the character's supposed to be like a hippie or something because her name's Clear, and she's got she makes weird like Beetlejuice like art in her garage.
And you're right, because she does say like I kind of hated that. She was like, this is the art that I make, that like the emotions that you make me feel. And it seemed like they had never talked one time before this whole interaction.
Well, this was like a little bit later, right? Like they cut some time after.
I feel like a week. This movie
all right.
A week.
So she's been welding her ass off this week.
I guess so. Whatever.
All right. But I think that's like supposed to be the character, like, and they cast Ali Larter because she's really hot. It seems like every like character in this whole movie was like a different character in the script. Like I read that the Sean William Scott character was fat, like it was supposed to be fat comic relief guy, and then they cast Sean William Scott because she was hot at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the character doesn't really change if he's fat. I like Sean William Scott. I think he's really good here.
I always love Sean William Scott. This is Sean William Scott at a very precarious time in his career, Logan. This is between Pies 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah.
It was right after. I guess that makes sense. It's right after 99, but I didn't think about that. When's Goon?
That's
When's
much
he
later.
Gooning it up. Okay.
That's like 07, 08.
Okay.
All right.
Is he play for the Rangers on that or no? Somebody that's a different team.
No, he's like a minor league Canadian hockey player, I think.
Oh, I didn't know.
Easy does it. The only fake hockey movie that you see the Rangers in is Mystery Alaska with Russell Crowe.
That's the only one.
That I can remember.
Okay. They're like prominent. They're like in the championship game or something, or they're just
Yeah. It's
That's
like
awesome.
the big game in the movie. It's the Rangers versus whatever this Mystery Alaska. And I remember seeing that movie in theaters at 13, like thinking, like, I know I watched this whole movie about this.
You're like, oh shit, I gotta switch it
young
up. Yeah.
upstart team, but I think I got to root for my Rangers.
I love that. That's hilarious.
There's also an episode of Friends where Joey Chandler and Ross goes to a Rangers game.
Who do the Devils play in that Seinfeld episode?
That's a really good question.
We don't know. Hey Siri, who do the Devils play in that episode of Seinfeld? Oh, I think she cut off. I don't think she would have got that anyway.
I don't think Siri would've got-
Who you know Putty, right? When he goes to the hockey game, who are they playing against? Oh,
You know Putty, right? He plays Detective Stone in Scream 3.
Oh, she heard you. No, she didn't.
All right. Excuse me. All right, so they get off the plane and the plane blows up, gang.
Awesome. What I love that shot, by the way.
Of the plane blowing up?
How it's outside the window and you see it blow up and then like
Yeah.
the glass shatters. I love it.
You know what it made me think about though is like I bet that glass wouldn't shatter now. I bet all like airport glass has been reinforced since
Because of
9/11.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
because
were
of
the
this.
movie. But by the way, before we even get to there, I was trying to like pick up on more things because this is like the first time I've really watched this like really recently, and I mean sometimes in this movie we like sort of scenes just go nowhere and we sort of just like cut at the end of the scenes. We're like, oh, that's the end of the scene, whatever. But I think some of the directing is really good. And I think it starting here near the start when we like we get out of cars at the airport and we get this really nice like one take shot where the camera's moving backwards and we're meeting all of our characters. We see Carter and his girlfriend Terry. They like put a bag on Sean William Scott and he falls over, and then we see like Clear by herself walking because she's a big loner.
Yeah,
And
I
then we
like that
see-
shot a lot.
Yeah, we see the teacher Luton. She's like, "Hey, student, you want some of this?" And then
Yeah, it's sort of establishing everybody's like basic personalities very quickly.
really
There's a
good.
shot like this in The Faculty.
Okay. Well, all right. But I thought it was really well done. And I like one part where Todd, he has a brother, right, that dies on the plane.
Todd with 1D, by the way.
Hate it.
Everybody's name in this movie is a reference to like old classic horror directors and producers. And so Todd is named after Todd Browning, the dude who directed Dracula.
What do you mean? Who are they named after?
Everybody is
Who
like,
do we got?
even like Sean
Billy
William Scott's
Loomis.
John,
Okay.
Sean William Scott's Hitchcock.
But yeah, you're right. Oh, Billy Hitchcock, of course.
But
Um,
the
Val Luton,
detectives-
what's she?
Val Luton. That's an old horror director.
Somebody named Val Luton, straight up.
Val Luton. It's a man though, I think.
Okay.
All
Carter.
right, not director. He's a producer. He produced like Cat People and shit. I don't know about Carter. Carter might have been a reference to Chris Carter because the dudes who made this movie all came from the X-Files.
Okay. Terry.
Wait, no. What are the names of the detectives?
Shrek. That's named after Shrek
No, that's named after Max Shrek,
from
who
Batman.
played Nosferatu.
Who's the Batman Shrek? Who's Christopher Walken? Isn't he Shrek?
That's Max Shrek.
Is that what you just said?
Oh, I guess that was also a reference to Max Shrek.
Oh, okay. And then Agent
anyway.
Ween, the other guy.
I don't know about Ween, but there's another dude, the other teacher who like went back on the plane. He was
French guy.
Mr. Murnau, and that's F.W. Murnau is a thing. And then also Devon Sawa's last name was Browning, which is also Todd Browning, the Dracula guy.
Okay, that's very cool. Look at you. I didn't know that. Same about the second movie. Those are all names or no?
No, the second movie's done by less
My
talented people who clearly, don't really have any interest in film.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Alright.
this has been done a million times. I'm not saying this is some kind of like brilliant touch of theirs, but like, I
cool,
mean,
though. I
there's
like it.
there's craft put into this first film that is not present in the second one,
Yeah.
in
I
my
agree with
opinion.
you. No, I agree with you. By the way, if I had asked you if I said, "Hey, spell Sean William Scott," how would you do it?
I absolutely would have included two N's because
Yeah,
I know that.
I never knew that until yesterday or two days ago. Never ever knew Sean William Scott
I've
had two
always
N's.
known that, bro.
I
I've
felt
always
dumb.
known that. Well, you're a little dumb.
But I looked it up. I looked it up. I was like, "Is that a change he made? Did he like was he
No,
born this way and then he
what?
went to one in?" Because in my mind he's one in, but I was Mandela affected or whatever you call it. All right, so
People need to stop overusing the Mandela effect thing. Sometimes you're just wrong about something.
I know, but I'm never wrong. I'm Mandela affected.
Fuck off.
Anytime I get anything wrong, I'm Mandela.
It drives me nuts. There are like three things that the Mandela effect applies to, like Fruit of the Loom,
Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, that's it.
And Mandela, and that's
so
it.
like the other shit is just you being dumb.
Well, not me, but others probably. Yeah. By the way, I want to bring some things up. Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Well, first of all, you want to get into like the deaths or anything? That's the opening plane crash. Love it. Think it's great.
Can I go back and get into like the director and the
Oh
development?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So this movie began life as a script by this guy Jeffrey Reddick, and he wrote it as an X-Files spec script called Flight 180. So, which made me, I really want to read that now because I feel like the two detective guys are probably Mulder and Scully.
Okay.
That would be awesome. So he worked at New Line Cinema and he showed it to a pal at New Line, and that dude was like, "You shouldn't submit this as a spec script. It's pretty good. Like, submit it here. Like, see if they'll like expand it to a feature and see if they'll do it." And that's exactly how that shit went down. And so they didn't love the script. They liked the idea more than the actual script. So they hired Glenn Morgan and James Wong to rewrite it. They were a writing team from the X-Files. They wrote for the first 4 seasons. Two of the best X-Files writers ever, essential to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they were excited. They had recently left the X-Files to go do movies, so this was like a good opportunity for them. And so James Wong got the directing job. Glenn Morgan just stuck to writing on this bad boy. And so where was I? Sorry.
Glenn Morgan
And James Wong, right? So they like rewrote the script with Reddick, and Wong got the directing job on this one. Morgan would direct a little bit later in his career, and they got it going. I mean, can you imagine this guy Jeffrey Reddick? He's a big X-Files fan, writing X-Files spec scripts, and then all of a sudden his movies, it's a movie now, and it's getting made by some of the best X-Files guys.
Yeah, it's a dream come true.
And it's an amazing story. And so it comes out March 17th, 2000 on a budget of $23 million. It was a hit. It made $112.9 million worldwide. Which, that's money in the bank. And it came in at number 49 at the box office for that year domestically, between Romeo Must Die and Finding Forrester, which famously carries the classic line of dialogue, "You're the man now, dog."
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um, and this was nominated for 2 Saturn Awards, Logan, and it won both of them.
Wow, which ones?
Best Younger Actor. That's like actor under 18. Devon Sawa. He won that shit. Beat Anna Paquin in goddamn X-Men.
Okay.
All right. And then you got Best Horror Film of the Year.
Okay.
Just took that shit home. It beat Requiem for a Dream.
Scary Movie doesn't count.
I don't believe Scary Movie was in the running.
American Psycho doesn't count.
I don't remember if it was nominated or not, but maybe it was.
Blair Witch 2 doesn't count.
Full title, please.
Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 doesn't count.
Yeah, you should.
Leprechaun in the Hood doesn't count. I see that's this year.
I think that was nominated.
The Little Vampire doesn't count.
No, God, no.
Phantom of the Megaplex doesn't count.
What are you even talking about anymore?
That's a decom horror movie.
Okay. So, all right.
Should we rank 2000? By the way, I got my list up right here.
Oh, okay. We could do that.
All right, my number 10, High Fidelity. It's fine movie. Number 9, I guess I really like 9 of these movies. Number 9, Snatch. Number 8, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Honestly, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Probably should rewatch it. Number 7, we just mentioned it, X-Men. Number 6, Castaway. Number 5, one of the great movies ever, Scary Movie. Number 4, Best in Show. Number 3, American Psycho. Number 2, Unbreakable. And number 1, I assume you're number 1, Almost Famous.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my 2000 list here. What a year that was, man, for movies. Because, like, my top 21 are all killer. 22 even.
Okay. I bet you got Dude, Where's My Car in the top 22.
Just after that.
Oh, what do you mean 23? Why didn't you say 23?
I mean 31. Maybe my top 31 are all killer.
Wow. All right. I've only seen 39 of them. You want to know my 31? How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
That's amazing. Am I dying? I recently started coughing. My How the Grinch Stole Christmas, just a record, number 132 on my list.
So 101 lower than mine.
All right, but here's my top 10. 10 is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 9 is American Psycho. 8 is David Gordon Green's first film, George Washington. 7 is Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. 6 is Boiler Room. 5 is Unbreakable. 4 is High Fidelity. 3 is Best in Show. 2 is You Can Count on Me. And 1 is Almost Famous.
Okay. Is All the Real Girls, is that the next year we're going to cover? 2003?
It is, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
That'll be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, definitely will be. Probably like 4.
Could be. All right. So let's get into it.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the plane crashed.
Yeah. You want to talk deaths or something?
Yeah, let's talk some deaths. But I wanted to bring up, first of all, that between the plane crash and the little memorial that they do you want to guess how many days pass? They say it.
Do they?
Yeah, they say it's been this many days.
I feel like it's a couple weeks, like maybe 10 days.
Nope, it's 39 days. And I only bring that up because that, if you remember, that's how many days Survivor used to be, 39
Logan,
days. So the whole Survivor season took place between the crash and the memorial.
Logan, I should have remembered this because when I was watching it last night with my girlfriend, I said out loud at that moment, "Oh, a Survivor season."
Yeah, that's all you could think of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
And she said, "Not everything's like a Survivor season." And
but this was.
And you know what I said? Yeah, nothing's like a Survivor season.
Oh, so sad. But she was wrong. In this case, it legitimately was like a Survivor season. It was a whole 39 days past.
Except for Australia and post 40.
Right. None of those count. But so there we go. But all right. So what are you talking about? The deaths individually? I mean, what else is there really? The characters?
Yeah, we can talk about the characters. I mean, what I liked about this movie was like every single person with a line of dialogue I recognized.
Yeah, not me. I see, and Carter was a big standout this time. I always liked Carter. I always thought he was pretty cool. But this time, I really enjoyed that actor. So that's cool that he was on it. I didn't even know that.
Hell yeah, Jack from The Creek,
And
and
he's
he was
gay?
nothing like. Yeah, he played a gay football player on The Creek, and then I don't know. Like his career didn't really go anywhere. He's nothing like this on The Creek. It's a very different type of performance.
What
So
do you
good for
think
him.
he's more like? Is he more like this guy, or is he more like Jack from The Creek?
Like in real life,
Right. Which one was he doing more acting for? Do you think?
more like
Or-
this guy probably.
Oh, really? You know what he had? I thought kind of I could have seen him like I could have seen myself really like if he played like a Spike character, like a James Marsters. I could see him being in a show and me really liking him.
Well, you know what's funny about that dude is he's in this vampire movie called The Forsaken.
I thought you were gonna say The Covenant. I thought you were gonna say that.
No, dude, that's a witch movie.
Is it?
Yeah, because he
Warlocks
says,
probably.
yeah, I guess they're warlocks, but at one point he says he's gonna make somebody his weotch.
Oh, of course, is a Weotch. That's so good.
Yeah, I always remember that. But hey, let me recommend to everybody if you want to see a good bad vampire movie from around this time, The fucking Forsaken. Check
Okay.
that shit out. That's a movie nobody talks about, and I think it's amazing.
All right, I'll check it out.
All right. Hmm.
So there's Carter, and he's got a girlfriend, Terry. You like Terry too?
I like her butt chin. I like her from Saving Silverman. I think she's kind of like whatever in this movie, but she's obviously got a great death. That bus thing is dynamite.
Yeah, I saw Mikey Graff say that too, and it's good, but I think like it's just kind of nothing compared to all the other ones. Like the other ones are so fun.
I know,
creative.
because the other ones are so Rube Goldbergian.
Right?
But I'll tell you what, like I remember when I saw this shit in theaters, and I watch it now, and in terms of like craft and like preparation and stuff, the most impressive to me is probably The Teacher. Okay.
We're just talking about this movie.
Yes.
Okay,
The teacher dying.
right.
But when you walk away from that first Final Destination movie, the one you remember is the fucking bus.
Disagree. The one I always remembered was Sean William Scott being decapitated.
That's pretty great.
Only because he starts out, he's like, I did it. He does like the cabin fever thing. Like the guy walks out of the house. He's like, I survived the movie. I did it. And then he gets killed. He does that. He's like, you saved me. Now I'm not going to die. You're going to die. And then he gets killed. I love that moment.
There's a lot of like heads getting lopped off in these movies. It's kind of fun.
Right. Well, that's the big one in the first movie. But then the second one, we have like the mom in the elevator. And
Yeah, well, that's another head.
right. But this one, I think Terry might be my least favorite death because immediately you know what's going to happen in that scene, or at least I do, because Carter gets out of the car and he starts going like, Alex, I'm going to yell at you. And then Terry's like, Carter, come on, settle down. And immediately, like, because she has that line of dialogue and we have that moment with her, I feel like you know exactly what's going to happen. Maybe not that you know the bus is coming, but I feel like
I didn't.
in that moment, you know, you're setting up for her death because of that line.
I can't really imagine how I'd feel about it now as a grown up or whatever, but as a 14-year-old
Right.
kid watching that, like that totally got me.
Okay. I guess I understand.
Like honestly, like if somebody asked me about Final Destination like a year after I watched it, I might have referred to it as like the bus movie.
That's honestly really weird.
Yeah,
But,
sorry.
Okay. Okay. We'll get there's another bus one later on, but stay tuned. Probably a few, honestly. I mean, yeah, there are a few, but
Well,
the-
up until this movie, I would think the bus movie was The Sweet Hereafter, the Canadian drama about the school bus of children that fell off a cliff.
oh wow,
Yeah,
that's upsetting.
yeah.
I
I like to bring up The Sweet Hereafter whenever possible.
was gonna spoil something, but I'm not going to because we're literally covering Final Destination now. So Todd, do you like Todd?
No,
Me either.
no, he's the LVP of the movie. And there's one weird thing about this movie, and it's that it takes place on Long Island, right? But nothing about the movie really screams Long Island, except a couple of times people say they're going to take a road trip to the city.
For the
But I
Yankees
even,
game.
yeah, but I even sniffed my nose at that. Like, road trip to the city, just take the railroad. He's driving to the fucking city, moron. So they sorry, how'd I get on that?
You're mad that he doesn't the New York
Oh,
stuff.
okay. So it's Long Island. And this kid, whoever this actor is,
You don't recognize him? We talked about him before.
who is he?
Oh my God, Daniel. A long time ago, last year, about a year ago this month, when we covered Saw, okay?
Well,
When we got to Saw 7.
if it's Halloween, we must be covering Saw, the franchise.
And we are.
Yeah.
We got to Saw 7, Saw 3D, the final chapter, and that's the one where Jill Tuck is like the main star of the movie, right? Like everybody's dead. It's like Jill Tuck. And there's a new cop, and it's this guy.
Jill Tuck again.
Jill is Jigsaw's wife, John Kramer's wife, sexy blonde woman.
Right. Yeah.
He leaves her all the tapes and stuff. And so there's a new cop, and it's him. And I brought up a scene where he is like interrogating her in a hotel room, and he's just like, he's so terrible. And I even put the line in like the episode, it was so bad, and I made a big deal out of it that this is the guy from Final Destination, but he sucks in that movie, and he's not that good here. But anyway,
He
I guess I wanted
sucks
to bring
here
it up.
too.
Right? And he
So-
shit on Stuart Little. Remember that?
Well, that's fine. Stuart Little's terrible.
What? Come on, are you serious?
But that's part of his premonition. That
Oh,
didn't
good
actually
point.
happen. I thought about that. Like, it's crazy that part of his premonition included his
Yeah, what
friend
the fuck,
shitting on
Alex?
Stuart Little and calling him a fag.
Wait, that happened?
Yeah, when he goes to sit down, he mouths the F word.
Wow. So, but that's a good point. It's during the premonition. So does that mean I should like Todd a little more because he didn't actually say that stuff?
maybe.
Okay.
But here's why I don't like Todd. I don't care about Todd, the character. I don't like the performance
I don't
because he's the only actor who took a look at this script, saw that it took place on Long Island, and decided, I'm gonna do a Long Island accent.
see. I thought that might have just been his voice. I didn't think he was so bad at it.
No.
Okay.
It is one of the most garbage attempts at an accent I've ever heard in a movie. I've heard so many people do Long Island accents. I've never reacted this poorly to one.
Really? Where's
Yeah.
he from? Do we know?
I have no idea, but probably Canada. I feel like they shot most of the shit in Canada. But,
I'll look it up.
He delivers like the eulogy at the
I have something to say about that, but go
at
ahead.
the memorial.
Canadian actor.
I fucking knew it, dude.
Yep.
I had that shit pegged. And it is the worst. I couldn't even concentrate on what he was saying in the speech because I was just blown away by some of these attempts
That's
at
hilarious.
pronunciation.
I never thought about it. I always kind of thought, oh, he's the guy they got from New York.
No
I think that's
way.
kind of what I thought. I think I thought he was doing it the best, kind of. But I guess he's the only one doing it in
just never
general.
been to New York. Yeah, that's it. It's
He's
just
just the only
he's
one
the
who has a
only
New
one
York voice.
attempting it whatsoever.
So it stands out. That's really funny. So he's Canadian. But back to his speech. Crazy.
I knew these movies were mad Canadian because in the second one, a dude from Battlestar Galactica showed up. And that's always my clue. If I'm seeing Smallville or Battlestar Galactica actors,
Right.
it is Canadian, dude.
That's a good point. That speech that he gives, he says in the speech, he's like, death, or he says it, and then he says, hey, death could happen any evening. You could get home and die. Who knows what's gonna happen? Death, hey. And then so he brings up
That was more of a Bronx accent you were doing.
God
Yeah.
damn. I'm from Long Island. But he says like death could happen it could happen this evening. And it fades to him walking through his house to go to the bathroom. And it's like him still talking. We still hear the voiceover at doing the eulogy or whatever. And then we see like interspersed between him dying, like that scene where he dies, we see Alex reading the newspaper. Right?
Yeah.
And it says at the memorial yesterday. And it's like, well, is this happening that evening or is this happening yesterday?
Oh, that's a good point.
It really stuck in my craw. Is that what people say?
Yeah,
that
that's
bothered
the thing.
me.
It
I assume
ground
it's
your
yesterday.
gears.
But I assume it was yesterday because the paper's out. I'm gonna go by that instead of the weird little editing trick that they did.
Yeah.
But that bothered me. I gotta be
There's
honest.
also another crazy thing going on in that scene where Devon Sawa was looking at a Penthouse magazine
Right.
and then also looking at that picture of Ali Larter in the newspaper, and he's sort of like trying to decide which one he'd rather jerk it to.
No, he's not. Are you serious?
That is 100% what's happening in that scene.
What? I mean, I guess you're right, but I never even thought about that. That is weird as hell. But you're right. He does pull that up because when I was thinking about ranking them, I was like, should I put this number one because there are boobs during this death scene? Should that be number one? Would that be a funny thing to do? But no, I didn't do that. But that is crazy.
This movie, like, it's sort of quirky and off kilter, and I think that comes from the writers, and it's not present in the second one.
The second one tries to be funny though. There are like one-liners the cop has and like little faces that he does where it's like,
but it's broader.
Is he trying to be funny?
It's broader. This one's funny in like a weird, like specific way. That one's funny in a "this is what was funny in 2003" way.
Right. These characters have little quirks, kind of.
Yeah, totally. Like the Clear's dialogue is wild.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a weirdo.
I would love to read the script of this movie, honestly, because on paper that shit must have looked insane. It only sounds normal because Ali Larter's reading it.
I don't know. I guess I never really liked Ali Larter as much as you did. But this is what I know her from. Like this is what I liked her from. Not even those Resident Evil movies. But then I watch these again and I'm like, I don't like Ali Larter even.
I like Ali Larter. I think it's wild. Like, because when I first saw her, it was probably Varsity Blues, and she was just like the hot blonde in that who like wore the whipped cream bikini or whatever. And like, I remember at the time thinking like, well, this is her. Like, this is what she'll be remembered for. But she went on to have such an interesting career. Like, she really ended up in a lot of iconic sort of shit, like the Final Destination franchise or the Resident Evil franchise or Heroes, the TV show Heroes.
Wow.
Or that movie Obsessed, which
of course, Obsessed,
super fucking fun. Yeah,
that's my favorite thing, probably.
There you go. Like, she's just like ended up in a lot of random shit. Like, she's really,
no,
I don't know. She did. She worked her. She's had a good career.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, she's the best career out of anybody in these movies, I would say. Oh, well, Sean William Scott, Tony Todd.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Todd doesn't count almost because he already had a good career by this point.
Right.
But
they got it because of that.
I would say she's probably second to Sean Double N.
Right. Yeah, I guess I would say so. By the way, what do you think? What do you think about Tony Todd? He just shows up for one scene in both of these movies. I feel like that's what he does throughout the whole franchise.
He's the devil.
Well, no, I think what they call him is like he's Death. Basically, he's probably credited as Death.
But he's credited as Bloodhaven or whatever.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, we're not supposed to know he's Death.
Okay. All right. Even by the second movie?
Yeah, because in the second movie they're going to him for like advice and shit. They wouldn't do that if they thought he was dead.
I guess so. So I guess in my mind I was just always like, oh, that guy, he plays Death in this movie.
It's just really obvious.
Right. So yeah, but what, you like him? Isn't he in?
Of course,
we talked about him in
Candyman,
The Living Dead. He was in the remake, right?
Yeah, and he's great in that. I think he was my MVP. And he's
you like
great.
The girl, right? No, never mind. I think in the first movie, you thought she was useless because her brother died. She was so sad the whole movie. Never mind. She's the badass in the remake.
Yeah, I like her in the remake. Anyway, yeah, Tony Todd's great. Like he's unimpeachable. He's Candyman.
I thought Yaya I thought
Sisterhood?
no. No, what's that? Yaya what's that guy's name? The guy from Ambulance?
Yo-Yo Ma?
Come on.
I literally have no idea what you're
The
trying to
guy who
say to
played the
me right
fucking
now.
Candyman and the
Oh,
Yaya
yeah, Abdul
Mateen. I
Mateen.
thought he
Yeah.
was the Candyman. But okay.
The second, I
The
believe.
second, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So yeah, so Tony Todd. What about the second movie? Did you like the second movie when we pulled out the nipple rings? You ever think about that?
What?
You ever think about that? Like people with piercings, like when they die, they just get those things fucking ripped out.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, why would they get ripped out? They should leave them in.
They do it. Well, like I think they do it when they burn bodies. I think it's only like when they
Oh,
burn,
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
they take the metal out.
For the cremation. I think most people are probably a little more careful about it, though. I would trust morgue attendants to be. Although I don't know. I don't know what goes on.
Yeah, I
down
don't.
there.
I really have no idea. It was a thought that I
Yeah.
had too. Like, are they just like that? Like desensitized? They literally
Yeah.
just like rip it off their nipples. Like,
Or do they make an effort to be really sensitive and
what's
respectful?
weirder? I guess.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, so I mean, there's Tony Todd. Not really much to say. He'll be
But
back. in the other
speaking
movies.
of morgues, how about that pregnant lady from the second one, aka Rico's wife from 6 Feet Under?
Wow, I obviously didn't know that. There you go. What that have to do with the morgue? He works in a
Well,
morgue.
that show is about a morgue.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it was about a funeral home, I guess.
Okay. Do they ever run into Lyle Gorch? Isn't he at like a funeral home one time? He's like trying to steal stuff from a funeral home.
I don't even remember what you're referencing. I know
know
that
Lyle
Lyle Gorch is a character from both The Wild Bunch and 2 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
What do you mean a character? There's a character named Lyle Gorch in 2 different things? Or the
Yeah,
actor?
Joss Whedon stole that name
Oh.
from The Wild.
Well,
Bunch.
Tector. Remember Tector Gorch?
Both of them. Both of them.
Well, you're not gonna say good pull for Tector?
I think that's a great pull.
Lyle and Tector?
From season 2, episode 12 of Buffy, Bad Eggs.
Well, that was a good pull by you. I couldn't have done that.
Thank you.
All right, so there's Tony Todd, and then we've got Terry gets hit by the bus. We've got Luton. Luton's next. This was your favorite one, Miss Luton, Val Luton.
Yeah. What was this one?
This one, all right. So she's at her house. She's like packing up, right? And she puts on some tea. She's listening to that John Denver song that plays a bunch of times throughout this movie. By the way, we have a lot of
She goes through her
choices.
closet and then she's like, "Oh, my mom liked this."
Right. So she puts that on. And then her computer blows up because she puts tea on the computer. And then like she gets shrapnel in her neck and she falls over and she pulls over like a washcloth, but it's on the knives that she set it on the knives. And
Yeah.
she pulls it, the knife falls into her. And my favorite part of this scene is actually when Alex shows back up, like he gets arrested because he's like being weird at her house, but then he shows back up a little later. And he the chair gets knocked over and pushes the knife in even further and kills her. Like that. I think that's so funny. But I agree. This is probably the best death of this movie.
That's great. I do think that one with the kid earlier with the boob one, like that's spooky in its own way. You know what I like about that one is that blue liquid comes out that you like think is gonna like he's gonna slip on or something.
Right, from the toilet.
Yeah. But then when he dies,
he does slip on it though.
I know. But when he dies, the blue liquid
goes back.
Right. That I think is spooky. I like that.
I like that too. I think those are the best two. We didn't really talk about that scene, but that is a great scene, right? Like that is scary. The way all the way it's directed.
Although
I've
got one huge problem with that scene.
Wow, really? Go ahead.
Yeah. He starts shaving.
Yeah, okay.
This motherfucker, he looks like he is so freshly shaven. Like he shaved 8 minutes ago, and now he's shaving again.
Yeah, no, I had the same thought, and he didn't put any shave. He just like shaved one little.
It's
tiny
a completely dry shave.
No, didn't even get the razor wet. I don't think.
No,
just pulled it out.
Dry shave
for us to be like, oh, maybe he's gonna die
on a fully on a face empty of any stubble whatsoever.
Right.
And he cuts himself. And I'm like, that one's your fault, buddy.
That great call, Daniel. That is the one weird part about the whole scene is like when he pulls out the razor and you're like, oh, is it gonna cut his neck and die? But this is the one movie, by the way, where death is visible. I feel like we see it in shadows, we see like fog, we see like in the kettle, right? We see like weird like fog death, but that's not really in the other movies so much.
Oh, it's not?
No,
it should be. I like that.
Me too. But yeah, it doesn't really come around that much. But this scene, like, I love the eyes, like when his eyes go bloodshot. That I think about that all the time.
That's cool.
Like I think about that like 10 times a year, probably. like pretty often. And it was even more often a long time ago. But like him kicking his feet, the shot of him looking up at the shower head is a great shot. The fact that the scissors are like just right out of reach, he can't get the scissors, and that weird little it's like a stuffed animal that's like waving goodbye to him. You know what I'm talking about? That's like up in the thing, whatever that is. That scene's that's a really scary, actually. That's a good one. But I would give the edge to Luton. Luton maybe a little better.
Yeah, Wong should have had a better career.
Yeah.
I'll talk about him a little more at the beginning of the next movie stuff, but he like had opportunities at major directing careers twice, and he fucked himself over really badly both times.
Okay, I don't even really know that. I guess I would say James Wan slightly better than James Wan, but I was impressed with some of the directing in this movie for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I think his cohort's even better. Glenn Morgan.
Okay. I would say Chris Morgan better than Glenn Morgan. What do you think?
I don't know. It's neck and neck for me. Guy? Yeah.
That's not true. Come
on, Glenn Morgan wrote so many great X-Files episodes. Dude.
I guess I'm not taking that into account. After Luton, we've got Billy. When Billy gets decapitated. But first, it's like when they get in Carter's car and he drives. He's like, if I'm gonna die, it's gonna be my own fault. So he's driving really fast. Yeah, really cool. And then he stops at the train tracks, but then he can't get out. So, by the way, I sort of always thought that that never made sense to me that Alex and Carter lived. It looks like they die in that scene. Like it looks too much. It looks too much like they got hit by the train. I thought.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like it looks like they got hit by the train, but then it cuts and it's like, oh, they just made it.
Yeah, like in movies, sometimes you're like, oh, did they get hit? Did they not? In this one, I'm like, no, they died. You know what I'm talking about?
I think that was the intention, but it's a little hacky.
All right, yeah, a little hacky. But did you like this one, Billy?
Yeah, of course. We don't need to talk about I just want to talk
through all of them. Sorry,
I just want to talk about all the set PC deaths.
Okay. What do you think about the big action scene at Clear's house at the end? Because I don't love it.
I kind of do.
All the sparks and the lightning and the cops are chasing Alex and it's like she's like in her car.
It's just chaos, man. It looked really fun. It looked fun for like the directors and the writers to conceive of.
But everything else is like so creative, and this is just like we're at nighttime and there are sparks, and it's like
no. Now it's like it's almost like death is desperate now. Like I gotta kill these motherfuckers.
Raining down everything that I can. Sparks,
exactly.
Fire, lightning.
That's what it feels like to me.
Pulling out all the stops. Okay, I guess that's all right. But to me, it was just like this is the finale of the movie. Is just like this big action thing. I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. Never really has, to be honest. But so there we go. And then so he saves her, and then we cut to 6 months later. They're in France. They finally made it to their final destination. Well, Carter's final destination. And they're sitting there eating. They have a lot of drinks or whatever. And then Alex, he can't stop talking about
I was wondering how they got served.
Oh,
wait,
yeah?
is it 18? Is the drinking age 18 in Paris? Maybe that explains it.
I think possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so he's like, oh wow, so I saved Clear, but then nobody saved me. So death is still coming for us. It's gonna get me any day now. And then so that like bunch of stuff starts happening, the sign falls, or so I think something happens, and Carter saves Alex, and then Carter's like, "I saved you, now it's over." And then the sign comes and it kills Carter.
Yeah,
Very sad.
it's good. It's good sequence.
Yeah, good sequence, fun location.
All right, what do you give this movie?
I think I might give it a 3.
That's what I'm giving it.
Okay, but my whole life I probably would have given it a 4. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
why.
not.
I think
It's
just
not
because out of
quite.
love.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, man. It's a great premise. It's a good time. It's pretty short. It's
Very
got
short,
some
both of them.
fun performances of the day. When he's in his bedroom, you get to look at his walls like, oh, he's got a Goo Goo Dolls poster.
Yeah, he's a Raptors fan. He probably enjoyed that title.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he's dead. He died off screen.
He had a Pecker poster, the movie Pecker by John Waters.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and then he's got that Penthouse mag. So that's all fun. And then, Sean William Scott's there, and it's like, hey, there's Jack from Dawson's Creek, and hey, there's that dude from Roswell who was later
Saw 3D.
David Boreanaz's brother on Bones. And
Who is this?
he's just like one of the students at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he look like David Boreanaz?
Not really.
No.
Yeah. But that's so it's a nice little product of its time. It's spooky. It's sort of well made. Like
I
I
like the
can't
part-
go beyond a 3, but like it's a nice solid 3.
Yeah, I like the part where he starts like reverse booby trapping everything. He's like making everything safe or whatever. for
Yeah, I
himself
like
he
that
doesn't
too.
die. That's a nice moment. I think there might be a weird chronology thing where he like when he starts to realize the seat chart of the plane, like how everybody sat and how it's all happening in that design. He then goes to Miss Luton's house because he's like, this, all right, Miss Luton's next. He goes to her house and then he gets taken to the
I
cops.
didn't
And then
know where her house was.
they're all in a tight knit community. I don't know. But then he goes to the police and then randomly Clear knows about the seat chart. She's like, hey, we got to go all like meet Alex. And it's like, I guess they don't have to tell me everything. Right. But I felt like that was a little weird jump where people know information that they shouldn't have, I thought, at a certain point.
That's fair.
But anyway, one other thing, fun little thing from this movie. Did you notice Alex's birthday? They show early on, they show his little like passport or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, your birthday, the same time as the whatever time you arrive, whatever." You remember that?
No, I noticed that the date of the flight was September 25th. That's the only date I took note of.
Okay, no, I believe that's his birthday. Okay, because she says September 25th, 9:25. That's the same time you're supposed to arrive. What a coincidence.
Oh, that is right. September 25th, 9. Yeah. So why do you say that?
Wow, you don't even remember. Last week when we covered the Hustler, we realized that movie came out on September 25th, and we made a whole deal like that. That might have been like that was like almost the anniversary today. But then a week later, Alex's birthday is the anniversary of the Hustler's release date.
That's pretty great.
I thought that was pretty great. I guess you don't agree as much.
No, it's good. I just didn't remember that.
Yeah, well, I have a weird brain, so I do remember that. I think that's it from the first movie. Should we rank the 3 stars? My MVP, I'm gonna go Carter. Jack
Oh wow,
from,
Kerr Smith.
Yeah, really liked him. Sad when he died.
Yeah,
And I thought he did a really good job of being like he's a great asshole, but then toward the end when they're all friends again, I think he does a lot of really good mannerisms there.
yeah. He's sort of. It's funny, like because it's kind of a Sean William Scotty kind of role. Like it's a little bit like how in the second American Pie, like Stifler's now friends with them and shit. Like that's sort of, it's weird that he's in the movie playing like the wrong part.
Yeah, they probably could have flipped roles and done just
Yeah.
as good of a job.
You're right. All right.
Well, maybe not Sean William Scott with the girlfriend.
Oh,
He doesn't
why?
like. I don't picture Sean William Scott as being like the cool guy with the girlfriend. I picture
are
him
you
as being the
talking
Stifler
about?
guy, like the loser player guy.
But Stifler always had girlfriends.
He had girlfriends. Like, hey, this is my girlfriend. We're gonna go to lunch with my mom
No, but
later.
like, remember he was gonna like fuck that girl, and then he drank the cum.
No, that was because it was a girlfriend or with his girlfriend.
Well, just a girl he was seeing.
Those aren't girlfriends. I'm talking about this is his girlfriend. Terry is Carter's girlfriend. I have to buy the
Oh, I
Sean
see.
William
You
Scott
you
is with a
can't picture
girlfriend.
Sean William Scott going steady.
Right, exactly.
Fair. Okay. My
I saw role
MVP.
models. It's Paul Rudd with the girlfriend, not Sean William Scott.
Ali Larder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. You have
That's
Ali Larder goggles on. You always
And
have.
my LVP is Todd.
Fair enough. I think I'm gonna go Todd too. I originally wrote Todd's brother only because he's there just to die in the plane accident and to give Alex like a little bit more of like beef with Todd's dad. I don't really understand that.
I thought like after they found Todd dead, that Devon Saw was a little tough on the dad. Like I understand the dad was like accusing him of like basically like manslaughter, but also
His son just died.
his son just died, bro. Like,
Right.
easy.
I agree, but Alex was upset too. His friend just died. He's being accused of murder.
Yeah.
That's not cool either.
But with friends like that, who needs friends?
I guess so. Well, he saved his life the day before, or 39
Yeah,
days before.
I just mean he's like a fucking dork.
Yeah, I guess so. So Todd is both of our LVP. Ryder Strong never saw it. Andy hasn't seen it either. Don't know what's going on with those guys. Henry gave it a 3. He agrees with us.
Yeah, that all checks.
That's crazy.
out.
What did Andy has to have seen it? Andy loves horror movies. He's just never rated them. Maybe
Yeah, he maybe just hasn't gone back in time.
he's big into horror. I don't know
He
about
just
Ryder
rates
Strong.
them when he rewatches them.
He was in Cabin Fever. We mentioned Cabin Fever earlier. How the Sean William Scott had that Cabin Fever energy.
I guess you're right.
Do you remember
All
what I was
right.
talking about? That guy? Do
What?
you remember that guy from Cabin Fever who like he lives and he walks outside? He's like, I lived the movie, and then they all kill him.
Yeah, vaguely.
What do you mean? That's the part of Cabin Fever I remember. Like you said about this movie, the bus
Well,
crash.
I remember nothing about fucking Cabin Fever, and I've seen it multiple times.
We gotta watch Cabin Fever. I think that's a franchise actually, or there's at least a remake of it.
Nah, there's a sequel too. I'm pretty
Awesome. Next Halloween, we're doing Cabin Fever, guys,
sure.
with Ryder Strong.
You
Let's
only have
shoot
him on as a
high.
guest.
Yeah, I think so. I think if I tweeted
Wow.
at him and said, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?" He probably would say
He is,
no.
he is a podcaster.
He is a podcaster, yes, and especially if
Yeah.
I mentioned that, like starting a couple months ago, we've referenced him in every episode. He'd probably come on.
That's true. From the Pod Meets World franchise.
He's a staple
Ryder
of our
Strong.
podcast.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to that?
No, of course not.
Who's it with? Is it like him, Topanga, Corey?
No, Corey like doesn't hang anymore. Apparently, like he's like they don't even talk. But it's him, Topanga, and Eric, Corey's
Oh.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
The was Ryder ever on Girl Meets World? Was he ever on that?
I
Never
believe
that?
that he was. Yes.
It would have been weird if he wasn't. Right?
Yeah, like I forgot there was Girl Meets World. That girl's a real internet tramp now.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Well, they all are. I feel like.
I guess so.
But I don't mean they, like the women, the men too. Everybody is.
I know.
You get a following on the internet, you become a tramp.
You gotta do it.
Anyway, so there's Final Destination. It's
You could do it. I bet you if you had an OnlyFans, Logan, you could make some money.
well, no, I couldn't. Nobody even pays attention to like my Twitter or the
We could
podcast
promote
or
it on
anything
the
else.
on this show though. You get a few subscribers that way.
Like probably like 20% of the people that pay for the Patreon. That's like 5 people.
So
No,
that's
more than that.
still pretty good, man. It's like
It's-
$25 a month.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I could set it a little higher and see what happens. Let me know, guys, if you'd be interested. All right, Final Destination 2.
Oh, All right. So
Oh, we didn't rank the deaths. I will rank them. There are 5 of them. Okay, not counting the big plane. All
we
right.
talked about them all. We didn't have to rank them, do we?
I think
You
we
have
do. I
these-
think that'll be fun to rank the deaths. All right. We've
All
got Todd, Terry, Luton, Billy, and Carter. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the worst one?
Well,
Carter's?
I remember 4 of them. Yeah, I guess Carter's the worst one.
Okay, I'd probably agree. Carter, the worst one. And then 4th place, I would go Terry.
Is it the bus?
That's the bus. But the other ones are Todd, who gets hung in the shower, Luton, the big scene in her
Yeah.
living room, and then Billy gets decapitated.
I'm gonna go decapitated.
Okay, I'm gonna flop them. I'm gonna go Terry and then Billy. Are you gonna go Terry next, or you're gonna go Luton or Todd next?
I'm gonna go Todd next.
Wow, you love the bus scene. You agree with Mikey Graff. And then, so my number 3, I'm gonna go Billy. Oh, I already said that. So my top 2 are gonna be Luton and Todd, and your top 2 are gonna be Luton and Terry. So what order are you gonna put those in?
In that order.
Meaning what?
Luton at 2 and bus guy at 1.
Wow, it's a
Yeah.
girl. You
I
don't even
know.
remember who it is.
I'm just going with the driver.
Okay. By the way, did you love in the next movie when we learned that like one of the people was on that bus?
Oh yeah, sort of. It
Like
was
we
dumb,
all
but
like
whatever.
connect everything.
Yeah.
The second one. All right. So my number 2, I'm gonna go Todd, and my favorite one is gonna be Luton, the teacher. So there
Yeah.
you go.
All right. So Final Destination 2. They decide they're gonna make this baby. It's like less than 2 years later. All right. It's not exactly
But
magic
calendar
window.
years, it's that magic window,
What do you mean?
the magic 3-year window. 2001, 2002. This one's 2003. 3 years later.
Oh, you're right. That was 2000. So it is sort of a 3-year window.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
about the
s-
date, but
Yeah,
at least
Uh,
calendar years.
you're right. All right. So they originally offered it to James Wong. They're like, you did great. Come on back. James Wong is like, I'm busy. I'm directing a movie with Jet Li called The One. It's going to be a big old hit. Guys, it was not a big old hit. Then he got offered to do Final Destination 3. He was like, all right, I'll do Final Destination 3. And then after that, they offered him 4. And he was like, nope, I'm doing a big old movie. It's going to be a big hit, gang. It's called Dragon Ball Evolution. Guys, it was not a hit.
That's the Justin
And-
Chatwin movie
It's the Dragon Ball Z movie.
with Justin Chatwin.
I have no fucking idea.
I feel like I bring that guy up and you don't know who that is.
I don't know. I don't know who that is. I know he's got a tiny pinched face. That's all I remember.
He's in that movie The Invisible, and he's also in that show with Emmy Rossum.
Yeah, but I don't watch that show.
You never watched that show?
No.
Why not? You watch every show.
Well, I'll tell you. You're talking about Shameless?
So yeah, sorry, Shameless.
So, like, I always sort of felt like I was missing out. And then around, like,
Shameful, so you didn't watch it.
yeah. Then around, like, the 4th season, I was like, all right, I'll watch it as soon as it ends. Like, it's probably going to run, like, 6 seasons or 7, maybe. And then it'll finish, and
Like 15.
I'll binge it. And then it ran for, like, fucking 12 seasons or whatever. And they're hour-long episodes. I just don't have the fucking time.
Yeah, they made it too long. They fucked up. They're
Yeah.
not getting Daniel on board. I get it.
Huh.
You okay?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm very coffee today.
You really are. This might be your final destination.
Am I dying? This might be my
I think
last
so.
episode. Yeah,
But
so-
you're gonna cough, and it's just gonna you're gonna blow the air, and it's gonna knock over something, and it's gonna roll and knock over something else. You know?
Right. So they offered it to Wong, and he couldn't do it because he was doing that Jet Li movie. Then they were like, well, your writing partner, Glenn Morgan, maybe you'd like to make a Final Destination movie. And he was like, no can do, bro. I've got my own project in the works. I'm directing a remake of Willard with Crispin Glover.
Oh wow.
All right. And
Wait, what do you mean?
what do you mean?
Who was in the remake?
Crispin Glover.
That's that recent?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? We should
I
cover that next Halloween.
we can do that.
So neither of those guys are available. So they reach out to a fella by the name of David R. Ellis. I don't know how they've thought of this name, but he signed on. He was a big stunt guy in like the 80s and 90s. Like if you go back and watch like Lethal Weapon and shit like that, he's all over those movies. David R. Ellis. And then he decided to pivot to directing. The first thing he ever directed was Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco, I believe. And so after that, like that was the only thing he'd ever directed, and then he directed this.
Wow.
So I don't really know how he got this job, but he went on to have a pretty interesting directing career. He died too young, sadly. R.I.P. David R. Ellis. But I like some of his movies. He did this one, Cellular. You ever see Cellular?
Now is that like Halle Berry? Who's in Cellular?
It's no, you're thinking of Cell. That's a different movie.
Oh, I'm thinking of Cell. What the fuck? What's
Cellular. It's Kim Basinger, and she's trapped in a room, and she gets hold of a cellular telephone. She calls I don't remember what the mechanics are, but the whole movie is her trapped in a room on the phone with Chris Evans, and Chris Evans is trying to find her.
No, I don't know that.
It's a good time, bro.
Is that one of the names you say weird?
what? Kim,
Is it-
yes, it is.
Is it Kim Basinger?
It is, yes.
Okay.
All right, so I crack myself up.
By the way, that movie is The Call, not The Cell, the Halle Berry movie.
Oh, sorry, The Call.
The Cell
There's
is
a different movie called
is another
Cell.
movie.
That's like a Stephen King movie, I think.
Well, it's probably Cell, and the Cell is a Jennifer Lopez movie.
You're right. Yeah, I saw that in
Vince Vaughn.
theaters. Yeah. All right, and so after Cellular, he did Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
You know, they could have called the first Final Destination People Off a Plane.
Yeah, they could have done that. Probably less people would have gone,
Yeah.
but that's not a bad idea.
Thanks. All right, so and then he also did that Shark Night movie.
No
Remember
way! I
Shark
love this
Night?
guy. This guy's made some
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, I think he makes fun movies, David R. Ellis.
Yeah, I love that.
To be
Shark Night.
honest, this is like my least favorite of them.
Yeah, really.
But that's gonna be our guy for this movie, David R. Ellis, and he's
Okay.
back for the fourth one.
All right.
Yeah, and our new writers.
Wait, you say he's back for the fourth one?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you're not happy about that?
No. Well, William had a great call in the Patreon. Something that I was thinking about while watching the second movie, and I'm pretty sure he's right about it. He says the even ones are good, odd ones are even ones are bad, odd ones are good.
That's because the fucking odd ones are done by the X-Files guys.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that earlier, I was thinking about the same thing. I didn't even know that. But that's actually something in my memory I probably would have always ranked 2 over 3. But now without even watching 3 again, I can already go ahead and tell you that I'm wrong. Like 3 has some stuff that I really like in it, some really fun kills, some really fun ideas, great teenagers, probably the best characters in the movies maybe. And I think that's a great call. The odds are good. Even's bad. But what 5 again, 5 is great, I've already said.
Yeah, I'm very excited about these later ones.
Mhm.
Anyway, especially there's so many different directions you can go with this franchise. There's a lot of like interesting lore, but you could also just do like dumb slasher movies or like
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Anyway, so that's David R. Ellis. Our writers for the movie are J. Mackie Gruber and Eric Bress, who were probably best known for the year after this movie writing and directing The Butterfly Effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ashton.
One of oh my god.
I never saw that Butterfly Effect.
It
Doesn't
is
it
one-
end where he tries to abort himself?
Yeah, yep. You should watch The Butterfly Effect, honestly.
I know.
I'm just curious where you land on it. I personally think it's one of the fucking worst movies ever.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
but there are some people that really swear by it. And I have always been convinced that the people that swear by it only swear by it because it ends with this awesome Oasis song and it makes you like walk out of the movie feeling better than you were a minute ago.
Yeah, you weren't looking back with the same anger that you were 5
That's
minutes
correct.
ago,
That's
probably.
right. Yeah. Um so anyway, that's our team for this movie. It came out January 31st, 2003 on a slightly higher budget of $26 million, and it made 90.9 million at the box office, coming in at number 64 domestically for the year, between two other movies I like more than this one, The Rundown with The Rock and Sean William Scott from the first
Mhm.
one, and Phone Booth,
Wow.
which didn't you
Colin
watch
Farrell.
that recently?
Yeah, I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, I like it more than you.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Is that
Phone Booth.
Schumacher? Joel
With
Schumacher?
me, talk about bad New York accents. With me, Colin Farrell.
He's
from New
hiding his
York.
Irish and putting on a New York. It's
He
great.
really is. It's crazy. All right, Logan, let's get into it. Oh no, there's awards. Sorry,
Right.
Saturn Awards. They nominated this one for best horror again, but lost this time to 28 Days Later, which is pretty understandable. And
Identity? Is that a horror movie?
yep, that was nominated.
Good.
All right,
Freddy vs.
MT
Jason?
that was also nominated. I noticed.
Ooh, I'm gonna run the gamut. Jeepers Creepers 2. Those are the
I
nominations.
believe that was awesome.
Wow. No Darkness Falls. Shout out to Anya.
Shout out to Anya.
Nothing there for Darkness Falls.
I don't think so, but I'm curious to see if you got them all because this has been pretty impressive.
Well, I have seen a lot of horror movies from the 2000s, so they're probably all on my list. And yeah,
Oh right, we got to do that, huh?
yeah, let's do that.
All right, best horror film. Ooh, David Boreanaz won for actor in a drama that year for Angel.
Love it. Wow, that's pretty late. Is that your season 4? Is that your favorite season?
Might have been,
I
bro.
think it is.
Best horror film. Oh, here we go. So what did you say?
I said
You got
What-
Freddy versus Jason, Jeepers
Identity,
Creepers
Freddy vs.
2.
Jason, Jeepers Creepers 2, Darkness
Yeah.
Falls.
Darkness Falls wasn't nominated.
Oh man, they fucked up. But Jeepers
Yeah.
Creepers 2, Freddy vs. Jason. What about Open Water? Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, that's not here. The others were Cabin Fever
Cabin Fever, that's not
Underworld.
this year.
and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. I mean, this was a January release, so it might have been like weird with the timing or whatever.
But yeah, I guess so. Okay,
Am I
so
dying?
I don't know what's going on. Should we do our top 10 of 2003?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You go
This is a
first.
good. I like this year. This is a good year. Number 10, you're probably not gonna like, but I put here at number 10, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the
Ew.
Black Pearl.
Gross.
I could have put Elephant there probably, and you would have liked it a little more. But I decided to go Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyway, so number 9, Elf. I think Jon Favreau's magnum opus. Is that what people say? I love that
Sure.
movie. Number 8, Identity. Number 7, a movie you made me watch recently, American Splendor. Number 6, listen to our episode, Finding Nemo. Great movie. Number 5, listen to Daniel and Henry's episode, Kill Bill Volume 1. Number 4, The Room. Number 3, X2, X-Men United. Or here it just says X2, I guess. Number 2, this is one of the best movies I have ever seen. This is an awesome movie, but sadly it's going up against my number 1. But number 2, Old Boy. This movie rules. If you've never seen Old Boy, check out
Everybody's
Old Boy.
seen Old Boy. You were the last person to not see Old Boy.
Okay. Well, I didn't know any spoilers, so to me it wasn't that big of a movie. So maybe if anyone else doesn't know anything about it, watch Old Boy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 1, School of Rock, obviously.
Fair. Yeah. All right. My list 2003. What a year. I want to say shout out to The Room, which came out that year, but you know.
Wow. I would have bet all the money I had, that's in your top 10.
Oh, it is technically, but I was gonna skip it.
Oh.
So I just give it a shout out because it's not.
It was my number 4.
You had. I didn't even notice that you had The Room at number 4.
Yeah, I had it between X2 and Kill Bill 1.
Oh
What do you think
God.
about that?
I love it. You know what's wild is on my list. I have it between X2 and Kill Bill 1.
Wow. So we that's the perfect placement for it. I've just seen less than you. So
I guess so. All right. But without The Room on the list, I'll say number 10, Memories of Murder by director Bong. Yeah. Number 9, Dogville by Lars von Trier. 8, Kill Bill 1. 7, X-Men 2. 6, Glenn Morgan's Willard.
wow.
Yep. Number 5, American Splendor. Number 4, Neil LaBute's The Shape of Things.
Yeah.
Number 3, School of Rock. Number 2, All the Real Girls by David Gordon Green. And number 1, Elephant.
No Old Boy.
I guess not.
That's crazy. Do you prefer
I
Spike's
have-
version?
No, I don't prefer Spike's version, but I like Spike's
You
version.
don't like this movie as much as I
No,
do?
I got it here at number 23. All right, that's not bad. It's right between Finding Nemo and Bad Boys 2. Can't beat that.
You can't give it 4 stars. What's going on?
What's wrong? It's only a 4-star movie.
That's great. Not according to Matty Rags or Dre88 or Justin Holcomb. He gives it 4.5 at least. He probably only gives normal star ratings, but that one deserves the extra half star. Andy Heron gave it 5 stars. Andy knows what's going on. I audibly gasped.
He gave
several
Scream
times.
6 5 stars.
You're right. Okay, you're right. On multiple viewings, he's seen that 10 times and always gives it 5 stars.
I know.
Maybe that's just out of principle. Like he can't admit to himself that he's wrong.
Maybe.
Old boy.
I see a couple
4 stars.
3.5s from people I follow.
Yeah, well, you follow dummies, I think.
All right. Let's where am I? So MTV Awards, they nominated this movie because it has that classic opening premonition sequence of the freeway crash. Right?
What do you mean? What
So
was
that got
nominated for?
nominated for Best Action Sequence,
Oh, okay.
but it lost to the Battle of Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings Volume 2.
So that's what this is. This is a lot of 2002 stuff also.
Yeah, I guess so. It's January.
Okay.
All right. And the Teen Choice Awards nominated it for horror movie, best horror movie of the year, and also gave it to a 2002 thing called The Ring.
Hmm.
The Ring.
Yeah. That's
All right.
good.
We're coming up on an episode of Angel in a few weeks called The Ring.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I hope it's Purity Rings.
Me too.
And then the Jonas Brothers were like, holy
The
shit,
Joe
that's a great
Bros.
idea.
Yeah.
They're big Angel fans.
Angel also came up with Cake by the Ocean.
Oh man. Which one in that one episode by the pier? Was there a lot of cake?
Yeah, using the cake.
Remember when he killed the guy under there? Like it was like the way he killed him was so cool.
Yeah.
I forgot what happened, but it
It
was,
was
so
just
cool.
like a piece of wood sticking out of the pier.
Oh, but
dude.
then he turned normal, but then he turned back into a vampire and died, right? It was like it was already in him, but then he turned mortal again and died, or something.
I guess.
I think that's what it was. It was really cool.
All right, gang. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got it.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the movie. What do you have to say?
Oh, I mean, I got so much to say, but we'll start with the opening. What'd you think?
The freeway thing?
Awesome, right?
It's pretty cool.
It's,
I like
it's-
anything. What you know, trouble's brewing when you see a logging truck.
Yeah, no, truly. That's the thing from these movies that has impacted me and everybody else on not a daily basis, but like a weekly basis, probably. Is you always think about Final Destination 2 when you're driving.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Anytime you see one of those trucks, you think about Final Destination. I've been driving and I've dropped like a water bottle or something like under like where the pedals are, and you think about that part when the mom does that, Tim's mom, what's her name? Nora. Nora drops a bottle and she steps on it instead of the brakes, and that's how she dies. And I think about that or in the premonition. I think about that all the time too. There's so many stuff in that so much in the freeway chase or in the pile up part that I think about.
James Wong said regarding the first Final Destination that he wanted to do for air travel what Jaws did.
I knew you were gonna
for
fucking say
going
that.
to the beach. So,
It worked.
well, I think he kind of got his ass kicked about a year later by this thing called 9/11.
Oh, you the air travel. I thought you were talking about this movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it didn't exactly get to the heights of Jaws there, but I do think that freeways are that you can make that comparison to the shark from Jaws.
Speaking of 9/11, at the beginning of this movie, they're celebrating or they're like
The
doing
1 year
a
anniversary.
memorial for the 1 year anniversary of the plane crash. And I was thinking it's probably like right around 9/11.
Do we know what time of year Final Destination takes place? Like what time of school are they at? Are they near graduation? Are they? I feel like we don't know.
See, in my head, it was September 25th, but I'm wrong about that. That's just Devin Sawa's birthday.
Right.
So I don't actually know.
Is Carter in a Letterman jacket?
He is.
Do we know what sport?
Well, we don't. That's the thing. I mean, if we're talking, I mean, my impulse is to say football, but that's just
He
because
doesn't
that's
look
what he
like a
played
football player.
as Jack on Dawson's Creek.
But I don't think this guy looks like a football player. But I don't know if he looks like any kind of player. So we're gonna guess it's like now.
I think he could be like a water polo player.
Okay, so what are we guessing? It's around September, maybe it's around August.
Yeah,
Let's say it happened in September, so that it's a year later. It's right
yeah,
after 9/11.
I think it's like September or October. You know, that's when homecoming happens for football.
So we'll say Final Destination 2 is right after 9/11. That's what we'll say. So a year later, right after September.
Like, it seems like I understand you're mourning the people that died a year ago, but maybe it should be combined memorial with 9/11.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe somebody should have said, like, we've had so much tragedy here the last couple of years. That's so
These
many
unprecedented times
that died on Flight 80, Flight 180, and on 9/11.
What was that flight called? Do we know? Was that Flight 180 also?
Well, no, United 93 is the one that,
of course,
that smashed into the ground or whatever, but I don't know about the others.
All right. So, yeah, but the great pile up scene. I wanted to bring up one part. Shout out to Henry, Highway to Hell plays.
Yeah. Yeah, they tried to make that sort of like the John Denver of this movie, but I don't think it was as good.
No, it only happens, I think, during this part. I don't think it really happens again.
No, out later on, she plays it for them.
But no, that's during the premonition. She's like, Highway to Hell, Highway to Hell. She's like looking through the station trying to show them.
Oh, right.
It's just in this one scene twice. But yeah, that was cool. I wanted to bring up something I always thought was kind of funny with the opening scene. Like, it's a great scary part of the movie, but it's a little funny how every main character interacts with each other when they're driving. Like, that does not happen. I will go like months never even looking at another driver, you know, like you mostly just pay attention to yourself when you're driving, but everyone's talking to each other and they're all like acknowledging each other and like waving and like doing fun little actions.
It looks like the fucking end of the Everybody Hurts video. Henry will love that joke. Anyone who's older than you will love that joke.
I really hope so. I hope they're not as annoyed I am that you just mentioned that. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, I want to bring something up. Eugene, you remember Eugene
Levy?
No, in this movie, he's black. He tries to commit suicide at one point, but it's not his time, so he can't.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up because this is like our week of billiards, right? We did The Hustler last week, and then during Buffy,
you know what? It's so crazy. Right after we did that Hustler episode, a dude checked into the hotel where I work, and we got talking about how he was a pool shark when he was younger.
Oh, wow.
And he brought down his like fancy like cue, and it looked like the fucking one from the Color of Money.
Whatever it's called.
It was like that.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've been very confronted by billiards recently.
And we talked about Riley's poster. It had a pool
The
ball.
ball,
It talked about all the
that's
balls,
right.
but only two that matter, your testicles. But then here, Eugene had a keychain, and on the keychain he had a little pool ball. So I wanted to bring that up, keeping with the theme that we've had the last few episodes. So,
Yeah.
So there we go. But great opening scene. Anything else from that? No, I guess not much.
No, not particularly. I don't know. The movie doesn't work for me on a character level. Like I'm never really invested in anybody.
All right, well,
This girl's okay. AJ Cook, the one you're like following
oh
through. This
really? I didn't
sequence.
like her that much.
I don't really like her either. She's better than some of the other ones. But and it's nice to see Ali Larder in the movie, but you
Ugh.
really miss Devon Sawa.
Yeah, you missed Devon Sawa. I hate the part where they go to see her and she's like, you guys will be fine. And then we like cut back to her and you can see her like thinking about it. And then she rips off her hospital bracelet. That is so stupid. Like, why are we doing the refusal of the call with Clear Rivers? Like, just get Clear back
that's a
into the
good point.
picture. And why are we wasting this time? I guess we had to get it to an hour and a half. Like this movie barely makes it to an hour and a half.
It's true.
But-
This movie's real thin, man.
Yeah.
And
It's
like
Main
there are
Street.
some sequences. Hey,
I'm
there's some sequences that like kind of go on forever that don't really add up to much.
Yeah. I mean, I like the deaths. I think they do step up the deaths.
No,
in this
I
movie.
think some of the deaths are good. Really, the only deaths I liked though were the freeway shit.
I like 5 of them.
All right, and I liked the one with the airbag one.
Yes, that's one of the ones that I mean, we'll get there. That's not true. There's got to be more that you like, but we'll get into some of the characters. The first one to die is Evan. He's the guy who wins the lottery, and he's like the hot guy on the bike, the motorcycle.
Yep,
You like him?
It's boring. No,
You did not recognize him?
no.
Okay. A long time ago, you used to have a podcast called "We Love Kids Movies," and you covered a movie, Snow Day. And this guy was in Snow Day. He's like the cool like jock. Or I guess he's like a bully kind of, I think, in Snow Day. But whenever I saw Snow Day, I knew him from Final Destination. I watched that when you guys.
What's this
did it.
character's name?
In this movie? Evan.
Hang on.
I think he's like
look
5th or 6th build. If you're on IMDb.
Apparently he's in Goon too, so we've
Oh,
covered
wow.
him a few times.
Okay. But yeah, I only knew him from Snow Day. But what'd you think about his death?
How did he
Him as a
die? I
character.
don't remember.
What are you talking about? He has a great death. He wins the lottery, comes home, he starts like cooking and answering, like he's on his answering machine,
Oh,
listening to all the
yeah.
women.
Yeah,
But some funny moments here. Okay, that I got. Okay, why does he take his shirt off to like start cooking with oil on his stove?
well, because it's one more like dangerous thing.
Very stupid decision. One part, have you ever, I mean, I was gonna ask if you ever noticed this, but you've seen this movie one time a long time ago. Did you notice it this time? I guess on his fridge there are, you know how you can have like the little letters magnets that you can spell stuff on your fridge.
Yeah.
You know, he has a few of those, and it says "Hey," and then there's like a loose E on the end, and the H falls off, and it says EYE, spells out I. And the
Yeah,
way he dies is it
I
gets
did
impaled in
notice
the eye.
that. Yeah,
Great touch there. But I think this is a fun scene. There's so much stuff. He gets his hand stuck, and there's a fire, and I love that he immediately walks in his apartment and tosses the spaghetti out, and you're like supposed to forget about that, but then it comes around at the very end, right?
yeah. It's just good set piece.
All right, Tim and his mom Nora. Do we like them? He
I
dies in
like
the dentist, or he goes
Yeah.
to the dentist.
I liked him because I recognized him as Amanda Bynes' brother from She's the Man.
No way.
Yes.
Wow. I also covered on We Love Kids Movies, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Now that you mention it, of course he is.
Yeah. And how about this? The mom was What's Drift's mom from Tokyo Drift.
No.
Yes.
Holy she's like barely in that movie. She's like at the very beginning. She's like, what's the name of your dad?
Yep.
Holy shit. That is Watch Drift's mom. That's awesome. That's amazing. All right, so his death way better than hers. I think hers is like I don't really understand hers. Like that guy trying to murder her?
That was so fucking weird. Dude. You're talking about the Hook guy?
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's like a random serial killer, like in the middle of this movie for like 2 seconds.
Right. It's
He
like
like sniffs her hair.
yeah, I had a question about that. Why doesn't Eugene beat the shit out of that guy in that moment?
Yeah.
Eugene's like,
Yeah, Eugene's
step
like,
back a
that's
second."
sort of that's weird.
But that
That's
guy,
sort of
he
a
like,
weird thing.
but it was crazy. Like the move that guy made in order to smell her hair. It wasn't like he like leaned forward a tiny bit and like got a big whiff from like a little further back. He moved from like one corner of the elevator to like to where she was and like smelled her neck. It was like a crazy move. And Eugene should have tried like murdered this guy. But yeah, then he like it looked like he put the hook in her hair and she got stuck and he didn't help her out. He like was pulling it even further. Like that's kind of stupid to me, that scene. Even though it's cool you see her head come off or whatever.
It's fun. I like it more than the one you liked so much.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. I love the setup to that. All the planning that goes into it's very fun. This one
I don't think Ellis is as good with the planning. Like I think what David R. Ellis is best at is like fun weird shit, like the airbag and this.
No, I mean maybe you're right. I like the airbag one, but what do you think about Tim? I love Tim's also.
How did remind me?
Well, first of all, he's in the dentist's office and he starts to choke on that fish. You think he might die in that moment, but then he gets out and he walks outside and they're trying to warn him about the pigeons because she had this premonition about some pigeons. And she's like, Tim, watch out for the pigeons. And then Tim's like, pigeons? And he sees pigeons, so he goes to chase them. But then the pigeons like fuck with like construction people and they drop a big glass thing on him.
Yeah, no, I
awesome.
did like that. That's a cool moment.
It looks so
good.
real.
Yeah,
it looks awesome. That's the coolest looking part in any Final Destination movie. Maybe is when it crushes Tim. That's awesome.
It's very satisfying.
Why you hated Tim?
No, it just looks
like they got the shot.
Yeah, they got. That's kind of why.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Were they making? I don't actually think this, but I thought it was pretty funny. Are they trying to make a Tim Whatley reference here? Because he first of all, his name's Tim Whatley from Seinfeld.
Anti-dentite.
Yes, of course. If you guys don't, that's Bryan Cranston from Seinfeld. That's his character. He's a dentist. But Tim here, first of all, his name's Tim Whatley. And this kid's name is Tim. And he says, if I wake up with my pants undone, we're not paying. And that there's an episode of Seinfeld where Tim Whatley sort of like molests his patients, right?
I think that was sort of just in the air.
That was a dentist thing. They put him under and molest them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, all I know is Seinfeld, so that's all I could think of was Tim Whatley.
Fair enough.
All right. So anyway, so there's Tim, and then they go see Tony Todd again. And then he rips out the nipples, right, of Evan.
Yeah.
Whatever. Tony Todd. I gotta be honest, didn't stand out in these first two movies. Like I feel like he probably gets better later.
I liked him in the first one. It didn't feel like the same character in this one.
I agree. That's probably what it is. He's like, they're bringing me back to be death. I gotta look scary. In the first one, I feel like he's just like a normal guy who like works at the morgue.
Yeah.
And so, all right. So Nora's death, we already got that one. Did you like that part where they go and hang out at the cop's house and come up with a meeting? Like, hey, like this happened before. We got to be real strategic and work together.
Yeah, it's okay. I just really didn't like the cop.
Me either.
I think he's a really boring actor. There's a lot of just boring actors that like went on to nothing in this movie. Like it's like they could have used, if they recast all these parts with like all the actors from the first movie who had under 5 lines, I think you'd have a better cast.
Right. I agree. The cast is a problem here. I mean, especially that cop.
That cop sucks. The main girl, like I said, she's all right, and she is, but like she's just like some girl that's been on Criminal Minds for the last like fucking 30 years or whatever.
It'd be good, Alexis Bledel. Get her to be this girl.
That would be great. Yeah, Linda Cardellini or something. I don't know. I just there were no standouts whatsoever. Like to the point where like when that
Disagree. One
that
one standout.
pregnant woman showed up and I was like, hey, it's the girl from fucking 6 Feet Under. Like I at least popped, you know?
Like her belly popped that one part. Remember?
Fucking hell.
I thought there was one standout
Who
that
do
I
you
never really
like?
paid that much attention to until this viewing, but I think she is great. And I'm talking about Kat, the girl who gets hit with the airbag, right? And I think she's so good.
Oh, she is good. You're right.
She's so uptight this whole movie. Like everything she says, she's always like focused on her career and like what her mom thinks about her. And she's just like feel like she wants to live like this perfect idealistic life that she's dreamed of, but she doesn't. And she's like upset, but she's doing her best, and she just like doesn't have anything going right in her life, but she's really trying. I feel like I got all that from this character, and I barely even met her. But I really liked Kat, and I thought
No,
the actor was great.
she's good. I recognized her from Battlestar Galactica, of course. That's part of how I knew we were in Canada.
Wait, they filmed in Canada too?
Yes.
Oh, even the first movie, so it's like a Scream thing. They're not even in New York.
No, I think they filmed parts of that in New York and parts of it in Vancouver.
Okay, all right. So, so Kat, you liked Kat too?
Yeah, yeah, I thought she was funny.
Okay, yeah, yeah, and
She might be the MVP to be honest. Like, I mean,
That's
I'm
what I would got.
looking like part of me wants to go Ali Larder just because I'm me,
Come
but
on, it's so stupid the clear stuff in this movie. And then like her
Clear.
she like
Hey,
randomly dies.
by the way, the name Clear,
Scream?
dude. I was watching the end of Final Destination because I kind of always thought her name was Claire, but then I'm
Right.
watching it with subs and they consistently call her Clear, and I'm like, that's wild. Clear
Do you know her last name?
Rivers,
Yeah, Clear
Clear
Rivers.
Rivers,
Yeah.
and so the movie ends, and over the closing credits, there was this really terrible song playing, and I thought it was funny, so I kept it on. And so I'm just sitting there watching the closing credits, and it got to assistant to Glenn Morgan and James Wong, the writers and the director, you know, and her name was Clear.
Right.
They named that character after their assistant.
Right.
That's nice.
That is nice. I thought you were gonna have a problem with that or something.
No,
Okay. Yeah, that is nice. Shout out to the assistant.
yeah, she must be so proud. What an iconic character to have named after her.
Well, but you think they had a falling out, and that's why they killed her off in this one?
Um,
Like they don't talk to Clear anymore. They're like, fuck Clear, we're gonna kill her.
well, no, they weren't involved in the making of this one, dude.
Oh, that's why they killed her. They're like, you're not gonna have your assistant in my movie. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. I'm David R. Ellis.
I mean, I'm surprised David R. Ellis even included her because they kill off Alex.
Honestly,
like,
shouldn't
off
have, yeah.
screen.
Yeah, let them
And
both get hit by that brick. What do you think about that? You hate that?
I hate it, of
Yeah,
course.
it's
It
stupid.
reminds me of the fucking beginning of Alien 3 when you find out fucking Newt died. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah, yeah, but
I hope in a later movie you find out Alex is like living in hiding somewhere and then he faked his own death.
I'm not gonna say anything. So I always when I was little, I liked Rory when I was a little kid. I
Who's
thought
that?
Rory was cool.
Is he the chubby one at the beginning?
No, who's that? Oh, the guy with the drugs in the car.
Yeah.
He, by the way, that I liked him way more than the other guy. There were two guy friends, and I liked him more than the guy number
Me
two.
too. And I gotta say, like him and that blonde girl in the car at the beginning, if that was the cast of the movie, that would have been better than what we ended up with.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if I disagree or agree because we didn't see them for the whole movie. But I have to say when I was watching the opening parts, I was like, oh, there's a reason they killed all these people.
Yeah.
I didn't think that
That's
they were
fair.
good,
I mean, I don't think
but I don't know if they would have done a worse job than everybody else.
I don't think they would have, man. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at this Rory guy. You like this? He's in Goon too.
Oh wow, yeah, Rory, he's the coke. He's always doing coke throughout the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was fun enough.
Yeah, and he like at the end he has like that sad part, or like hit towards his end where he's like, "Hey, main girl in the movie, if I die, can you tell my mom, or can you get all the porn out of my room so my mom doesn't get
Oh,
upset with me?" I
yeah.
liked that. I always liked that part.
Devon Sawa gave no fucks. He was like, I'm just gonna leave all this porn in my room.
You think so?
I don't think he got rid of that penthouse.
But by the time the break that happened like between movies, he's like
I
with his
bet, I bet,
girlfriend. He probably got rid
yeah.
of it all.
No way. What? Yeah, yeah. Every dude just like, I have a girlfriend. I'm gonna get rid of all my porn.
I mean, this guy like he's graduated high school by that point. Probably has a girlfriend. He might have.
It's around.
Okay, stashed
His
somewhere.
parents found it. They didn't judge him for it. He's an adult. He's a grown man. But like, what are you gonna do?
Right. I guess so. This was sort of like the last era of like you had to have magazines probably.
It really is. Yeah.
Like we're getting into the mid 2000s.
I
The
remember Chuck Palahniuk. I was a big Chuck Palahniuk fan in high school, and he printed a short story in an issue of Playboy once, and I was like so fucking pumped. Like partly because the short story, but also because like it was an excuse. Like I knew I could get my mom to buy me a Playboy if I
Mhm.
presented it as there's a short story I'm really excited about.
She should have got the Playboy and just ripped out that page to give to you though. She gave you the whole magazine.
She did, but
That's a crazy move.
my mom did do a couple. I was already in high school by that point. When I was younger, like when I bought Green Day's Dookie, I remember she went through um the lyrics booklet and she sharpied out all the swear words.
Okay, I love that. Great
So
job,
like I
man.
could hear them in the song. That was
But
no
you couldn't see
problem,
him.
but I couldn't see them.
I love that. The the okay, so they did you like the when they like spend a lot of time at this farm? Did you like that? They like crash at their car at the farm, and that's when Kat gets the airbag and the
Yeah, I mean, whatever with the farm, but I did like that whole section where it was just like the camera racing around, like showing shit going wrong in that sort of accident area.
where like she drops her cigarette and it goes to like all the
Yeah,
fuel and it explodes, and then the fence cuts Rory like in two different places, right? Because it's
yeah,
like a wire thing. That was always one of my favorite deaths in all of Final Destination.
yeah, and her transmission was leaking.
Yeah,
No, that's a good one. A lot of characters get like cut in half and in thirds in these movies, and I like that.
hmm I do think I never. So this part always kind of bored me, the part at the farm, and it still kind of does. I think it's like kind of a boring location. They just like stop down for a little while. But and I never liked the cat character or the cat death, but I really had a coming around on her, and that death is really good. Like it goes through the seat and it's like really close to her, and she's like, "Oh no!" And the guy comes over with the machine to get her out to like help her get
The
free.
jaws of life.
Yes, and she's like she makes a really funny comment there where she's like, "It's too loud. Can you turn it down?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, don't worry. I'll hit the quiet button." And then he hits it and it just immediately the airbag pushes her head into it. And it's like it goes from funny to scary immediately, or like funny to like sad because I really like that character. It's like a really good
Yeah,
dichotomy, I guess.
it's a shocking moment.
It's a very shocking moment. It's awesome. So and then right into the Rory part. I think that's good. I do like the deaths in this movie for all the negatives. I think the deaths are cool.
Some of them are good. I just don't really care about anybody that's happening to. Like it's shocking when Sean William Scott's head pops off in the first one because it's like, oh no, Sean William Scott.
But you know it's coming when he's like, "I lived, I survived," and he's
No,
standing up
no,
in that shot. You know it's coming.
of course, but there's a lot like you don't want to see the teacher die. Like that's a bummer.
Right.
And horror movies I think are always best when you don't really want to see them
That's
die.
why we love
Like
Scream, because every character is so fucking
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
The best Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street movies are the ones that like have established the cast at the beginning.
yeah, that's you have perfect nipple placement. That's why
Yeah.
we love we love that one. That guy rules. The worst part though, I all right, so I have some questions. So they get to like new life can fuck with death or whatever. So she has a baby. But that doesn't end the thing, because then like Eugene dies and it's like new life is that main girl has to try to kill herself, but then live. What was that?
Yeah, I didn't. The mechanics of it never really made sense to me. First of all, that everyone is dying in like the reverse order of how they would. I don't understand what's going on there.
I don't think that's true. I think they're just dying in the normal order. And she would have been last because the truck comes at her like in the very end of her premonition.
I don't know.
So
To me, the scene in Final Destination where like Devon Sawa figures out what's going on and like maps it out for everybody is so simple and easy, and it's like, all right, I get it now. That's the movie.
right.
And Final Destination 2, there's nothing like that to hang on to. Like
Right.
everything's just sort of more random, and so it's like it feels less like a menace. Like, remember when I said about the first one, like it feels like at the end of the movie, like death is just like, God damn it, I gotta fucking
Right.
kill it. Like the deaths in the first one had some sort of personality, even though you never see death. I mean, other than Tony Todd form or whatever. Like you get a sense of like how he's feeling and like what his objectives are at any given moment. And you don't really get that in this movie.
Yeah, these you can feel like the writer sitting down and being like, "Oh, this will be fun." And then how do we get to here? How do we? Oh, let's have him toss the spaghetti out, and then it'll slip on it. That'll be good. I get what you're saying about death has personality in the first one. You can feel like the fire within death, the hatred. Like
Right.
he really wants to get these guys. That's a good call. I guess I never really thought about it like that way before, but like the deaths in this one, especially toward the end, like she opens the door and then Eugene dies. That's how Eugene dies, and it's also how Clear dies. They just like look over and Clear's body is there, her charred body, and you're just like, oh, I guess Clear's dead.
Well, she died in that huge explosion.
I know, but that was so lame. Like, why is she even in the movie? If that, like, I feel like she didn't even do anything.
No, I guess you're right. Like you see her on the poster and shit, and it's like, I'm glad she's there. Like we need someone from the first movie. Like it's a sequel. You want to see the cast from the first movie a little bit.
Do we know the reasoning why Sawa wasn't in it? Did he say no?
There are multiple reports of this. Half of the ones I read say they wanted to cut his salary from what it was in the first one, and he didn't want to do that. Like, and so
how much was it in the first one? He was like 17 or whatever they said.
I know it couldn't have been much.
Hey, the kid, the same amount he got in the first
I know,
one.
I know.
That's like the Godfather 3, how they didn't want to pay what's his name the same as Pacino, and then they fucked up the movie because they didn't get him. Yeah, Robert Duvall. They didn't get Robert Duvall, and that's the same thing here.
Devon Sawa is as important as Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall of the Final Destination franchise. But yeah, so that some people say that, and some people say it was a creative decision, but I don't see how it
creative
could have been a creative decision. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's so stupid. No, it has to be the first one. But yeah, I hate that decision.
But like you could tell David Ellis like had no interest in the first movie. Like he's making his own movie here.
Right.
Like I mean Clear is shoehorned in a little bit.
But I would have been fine if Tony Todd was the only connection.
Right? Yeah, but I mean it's just not the AJ Cook character is just not a strong enough character to lead this movie.
You know what they could have done is they could have just not made this a year later. They could have just made this 3 years later, like real time wise, how it's 2003, and try to just ignore it. I don't know why they did that.
I think the plot should be centered around the plane crash still in some manner.
What?
I don't know how.
That doesn't. You're making Final Destination 2. People want to see more teens get put in Final Destinations in situations. They don't want to see you like. They don't want to see a procedural about the plane crash trying to figure out what happened.
No, I don't mean that.
Okay, I want bones.
No, I think the cast is strong enough in the first Final Destination that it should take a Scream 2 tactic. And not all of them. So let's follow those two. So let's follow those two and have a new cast. Claire and Alex go to college. Let's see it.
Okay, I mean, I do agree. Like they should be like Dewey and Gale. Like they should be in all the movies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they fucked up, and it's such a lame way he died. He got hit by like a brick hit him. Like we don't even know what happened with the brick. A brick just showed up. A brick hit him, and he's dead. A flying brick.
Yeah, it's like Death was like, well, maybe I have to be a little more subtle. Like I can't just have like lightning bolts in the
I'll
street.
just knock this brick out of this building when he walks by. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll do it. Pretty
Whoop.
lame, but yeah, there he
Wang.
goes. The end of the movie. Do you like the end? Oh, by the way, I wanted to bring something up. I do like the part in the beginning or in the first movie where he realizes like, oh wait, I only switched seats with those ladies in my premonition. In the real version, I was still sitting back there, so I'm actually supposed to die here, not there. You know, there's like a part where he realizes like, oh,
Yeah, but I
clear is
don't get
next or
that
something.
either because in the thing, like when he wakes up, the girls are walking towards him to see if he'll switch seats with them, and he probably would have said yes.
But I think he gets kicked off before he switches seats, so I don't think it mattered or something. You know.
But the premonition is all about like what would have happened if he stayed on the like. I don't know. Death is getting in
Yeah.
the weeds here.
Don't think about it. Just don't think
Yeah.
about it. But I mean, I guess you're right. It's supposed to be following that premonition. So why would what happens in reality alter that?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's a dumb part, not a good part. Now that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it. So ignore that maybe. But the end of this movie rules. What do you think about that?
Does it?
Oh, they all
You
they're
talk
all
about the barbecue?
yeah, they're all sitting down to eat the barbecue. And did you recognize that guy by the way? His name's Brian.
I think he's also in Shameless.
Uh, oh, you might be right about that. But I know him from Max Keeble.
Oh, part of
He's
the
the
big move.
bully. He's the bully from Max Keeble's Big Move. You know, the Googles is me name. He's scared of that guy.
Yeah.
The big frog.
Of course. Now I remember.
And so that's that guy. But here, they're gonna go eat at the barbecue, and he goes to check on the food. They're like, "Hey, Brian, go check on the grill." I'm sure they say that in Fast and Furious too. Hey, Brian, go check the grill. Sure, it's almost done. Those brats, and so Brian goes to check the grill.
Hey, Brian, while you're over there, bring me back a Corona, bro.
A Corona Extra. So Brian goes to check the grill, and they're like, "Hey, tell the story about Brian." And they're like, "Oh yeah, the other day Brian was walking into traffic, and Rory saved his life." And they're like, "Oh shit! Oh no, Death's coming back to get Brian!" And then big explosion, and his hand lands on his mom's plate, and she screams her little head off. Cut the credits.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's awesome.
It's fun. It's a good time. But this movie to me is a clear step down from the first one.
For sure.
This is like the problem with sequels. I mean, I'm glad it made money because I'm excited to see where the franchise goes. I'm interested in a third one with James Wong reinstated as the primary creative force. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm between a 2 and a 3. The characters are way worse. The actors are way worse. The directing is worse. The writing is worse. Everything's worse, except I think maybe the kills. But you had a great point about how you can feel Death in that first movie. He's like a real character, and in this, you can feel the
It
writers
just feels like set pieces.
trying to create fun set pieces, which I don't have a problem with. That is why I watch these movies, you know? Like I do watch these movies to see them die. I'd be upset if they didn't. But they could have put more effort into the characters and rather than the cool deaths. But I don't know. I kind of want to give it a 3, but I can't justify in my mind giving it a 3, I think. I think I'm gonna give it a 2. Sorry.
You
But
don't have to apologize.
but some good deaths. My MVP, I'm gonna go Cat. Really like Cat. I didn't know her. I didn't get her name. Sorry, I'm gonna look up her name.
It's Keegan Connor Tracy.
Yeah, I don't really know her, but she's in Bates Motel.
I guess so. They filmed that in Canada too, by the way.
Okay, she's in the Twilight Zone on the Paramount Plus. Did you watch that?
Well, James Wong did a few of those, so I bet she's in one of those.
Okay.
I'm gonna give my MVP. Can I go with that dude, Rory?
Of course you can go Rory. I like that choice. No, she Alonso Alvarez made her episode.
Oh, okay. Well, Jonathan Cherry played Rory. I'm gonna go with him as my MVP.
That's crazy.
And
I didn't
as
think you did.
well, it's him or Clear. I just gave her one. My LVP is Burke.
Oh, Cop, me too. Detective Cop Burke, whatever. Yep,
Fucking terrible.
yep, he sucked. Oh, there were some things I forgot to bring up. The production designer Michael Bolton. Do you know that? That's cool. By the way, I watched this on HBO Max. Where'd you watch it?
Also there.
Were your subtitles? Did you have closed captions on?
Yes.
Were they British?
Oh, I did notice a couple of
Got a
weird
lot of
Britishisms.
mums. I got a lot of.
Yeah.
There's an arse. I got an arse a
Oh,
few times.
consistently it's ours. Yes.
I think Eugene's like, I'm gonna kick your arse or something.
Yeah.
Or he said-
Someone called somebody an arsehole at one point.
Arsehole. That's so funny. Like, how do you talk to somebody British when they're mad when they call you an arsehole, and how do you not laugh at that? You're such a dumb arse. Like, come on, get real.
Get real.
But I guess that's it for all those. I'm gonna rank the deaths. I don't know if you have it in front of you, if you'll be able to. There's 8 of them.
You do it.
Yeah, tell me what you think. I guess last place I put Clear. She just opens the door. She's dead randomly.
Yeah.
It sucks. Why is she even in the movie?
And she's too important a character. Like,
Yeah.
in its own way, that's as bad a death as Devon Saw was off-screen death.
It would have been like what people said, like they should have, because people hated the part in The Last Jedi where Carrie Fisher does the Mary Poppins thing. People say she should have died then, but people would have been so mad if she died then. Like, it would have been so unceremonious. It would have been like this, how Clear just like randomly dies at a certain point. But not that I care about Clear as much as Princess Leia, I guess. But so number 7, Eugene.
It's neck and neck for me.
Between those two? Or between
Yeah.
Princess Leia and Clear?
Yeah.
Right. 6, I put Nora because it's like a serial killer randomly. I don't really understand that one. 5 is Brian, the guy at the end. Really fun death at the end. 4,
Surprised
Cat.
that's not higher.
Well, the other ones are really good. 4 is Cat, the airbag one. 3, I put Rory, the explosion, the fence cuts him in half in 2 places. Your MVP. 2, I put Tim, the dentist. He gets like crushed in half by the thing. Maybe I don't like the setup as much. The stuff in the dentist's office, like a random pigeon comes in and they're trying to like deal with it in the lobby. That's kind of stupid. But the death itself outside when he gets crushed, I think is so cool. And then number 1, I put Evan. I think his whole scene, I think, is just so, all the choices they make are so funny. The fact that he's shirtless and the letters on the refrigerator. I think
All
I
right,
like
yeah.
that. So there we go. No, nobody saw it. Not even Henry. Henry didn't even see the second one.
Really?
Never saw it. Maybe you should check it out.
Wow, we should have covered this.
Yeah.
Um,
And he'll probably never see it now, honestly.
nobody interesting saw this.
I mean, the people that I follow, but nobody gave it any.
Almost
crazy star
everyone
ratings.
gave it 3s and 4s on mine.
Yeah, people really like this movie, and I did too for a long time. But so there we go. My MVP. Oh, we already said that. The Patreon.
Uh,
Do we have
did
any
I say I'm
reviews?
giving it a 2? Did we
Yeah,
say that?
Yeah, we said we were giving it a 2.
All right. Well, go with the Patreon. Yeah.
Well, do we have any? I'm trying to pull up see if we have any reviews. Do we? No.
Oh, you know what? I think Aussie Scott gave us a review.
I only see the one from Laura _ 94.
Well, we might only be able to see the American stuff.
Really? We don't see the Australian ones?
Maybe not, but I see him.
Okay. You can see what it says?
You read the stuff and I'll look for it.
Okay. I don't see it. I don't know how you'd be able to see it, but okay. William says Final Destination 2 is largely a bad movie with very boring lead actors, but the opening action scene is excellent and the epilogue is hilarious. William, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah. No,
William again.
Aussie Scott says perfect podcast, 5 stars. They had me at hello.
Oh, I love that. Why do you say that? That's
Yeah.
not a franchise you covered.
We should. We covered
Is that
the
how you
Wire
opened the first episode? You
franchise.
said hello. Is that actually a thing that happens?
Very possible.
All right. So William again says, mark it down that the even Final Destinations are bad and the odd ones are good. So that's like reverse
Yeah.
Star Trek, where the even Star Treks are good,
Right.
odds are bad. And I think that's like that's like Friday the 13th too. Like 2, 4,
Yep.
6.
6.
Those are the good ones, and then like 1, 3, 5, 7. All those suck. So
They don't
uh,
suck. They're just not as good.
not as good. Not as good. Michael Babcock says, "I've only fully seen the first and fifth ones. That's
Wow.
crazy. The first one doesn't hold up very well. IMO. The fifth one is way more fun than I would have thought a late entry in a horror franchise would be. I agree. I think the first one holds up kind of well. The thing is like now I feel like any movie from the pre-internet era holds up to me so well because it's made with such like authenticity, kind of, you know.
Like actual care.
Yeah. So any movie from like 2007 or before, I like a lot more than I should probably.
Yeah. I will say it holds up better than Devon Sawa's other horror movie, Idle Hands. That was a disappointing rewatch for me recently.
You know what Devon Sawa was pretty good in?
SLC Punk.
Probably.
We gotta cover that. That has a sequel.
What's that called?
I don't remember, but SLC Punk 2 something.
Oh, he was good. He was in The Fanatic. He's good in The Fanatic.
Oh yeah,
he's the guy.
And he's good on Chucky, dude.
Oh, of course.
He plays 2 different characters.
Yeah, that's a mistake by me. I still haven't watched that. Dude. All right, so yeah, Michael Babcock. There we go. That's cool. He's seen the fifth one. Mikey Graff says, I always loved the idea of a slasher film without a slasher. The first one is good. Love the WB representation. The blatant, ominous foreshadowing is very cheesy, but funny to me. The second one was worse than I remembered. Yeah. The opening scene is great, and I liked that it was more gory, but the storyline of trying to outsmart death in this one was more complicated than it needed to be. Yes. How many premonitions can AJ Cook have in one movie? And they shouldn't have
killed like Cordelia.
Yeah, but I don't think it hurts her so much, does it?
Maybe not.
I don't know if it's painful to her. But yeah, she's like all the time. She's like seeing pigeons and like this reflection, and she's seeing this and that reflection, and
yeah,
she's like seeing these hands in the van, and oh, now they're bloody. Oh, now it's me. Yeah, you're right. It's just constant, always premonitions. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. All right. So next week we're doing Final Destination 3, Final Destination, or the Final Destination.
Yeah, the final destination.
I'm sorry. So that'll be great. I thought it was the last one.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Anything else, Logan?
I don't think that we have to do anything else. We don't rank them yet. Right?
Don't walk yourself down any dark alleys. All right. I want you to be careful on these streets in this month because there's tarantulas around and ghosts and ghouls. All right.
Yeah.
And skeletons and spider webs. I guess that goes hand in hand with tarantulas, huh?
But it doesn't even have to be scary for you to die. Anything could kill you in these Final Destination scenarios.
Oh my God, it's true. You gotta be careful. Gotta be like Devon Sawa, making yourself a little safe house.
Yeah. By the way, I always thought it was weird. He eats from something that's like a metal can that you could cut you, right? Like he takes the lid off of it, and I'm like, that thing right there could kill you. You know what I'm talking about?
Good point, man.
Yeah.
He didn't cover all his bases.
No.
All right, gang.
Jesus. Do we have anything else? Are we done? Do we say happy trails? Are we missing something? I feel like we're kind of missing something.
Are we missing something?
I don't know. I feel like you
Patreon.com. Patreon.com's $5 a month /the franchise. Patreon.com/the franchise. So much coming at you this week, including a ranking of every first part of a franchise,
including Final Destination.
Yeah, that'll be on there. But you know what? Take your vitamins, be healthy, and just stay in well lit places with lots of people around. Okay.